So everyone, we're going to talk today. For those who have not had an opportunity to meet, my name is James Adlam, and I want to talk to you today about building your business, and in today's conversation about making a decision and the impact when you make a decision. Because until you make a decision that's possible, God and the universe cannot do the impossible for you. And the number one reason why most people do not get what they want is because they're indecisive about the price that they're willing to pay to get what they want, and they haven't made the decision for what their long term is going to be. You see, when you know what you want and you know why you want it, everything in the middle doesn't matter. But when you don't know what you want and you don't know why you want it, then guess what? Everything in the middle is a big problem. So if I say I want to be successful and I am clear that I want it because I want to take care of my family, take care of myself, take care of, whatever the situation is, then I'm willing to do the things I require. Because I'm telling you that the people that you're looking for are already looking for you. But the only question is, have you made the decision? Because if Mr. Garvey hadn't made the decision that he was going to talk to as many people as possible and ask them a simple question, hey, do you look at other ways of making money? Simple question. He could have gotten on that elevator, said hi to her, smiled, hit the button, walked to his car, left, not even realizing that in the same elevator is someone who had just prayed a prayer for a blessing financially to help her figure out how to take care of her children's education. You see, when you don't talk to people, you are literally building a wall, and on the other side of that wall could have been the very blessing for that person. But when you didn't have the conversations you don't have are actually hurting other people. You don't realize it. Everyone on this call probably has a different faith life. You believe in something different. We have different religions, different belief systems. And that's one of the most beautiful things about our company is that everyone is welcome. So I'm going to tell you something. The universe cannot do the impossible until you do the possible. It's not possible to be blessed until you walk to the blessing, until you run to the blessing, until you sprint to the blessing, until you make the decision for what it is that you want and you're willing to go after it. Miraculous things can happen. You see, what are the odds of that moment happening? That moment would have never happened had two people not been looking for one another. They just didn't realize it yet. But because the first person, and Mr. Garvey, made the decision that he wanted to work with and meet great people, he just told you he prayed the prayer the morning he got up. And you see, when you are clear on what you want, your reticular activator kicks in. Your reticular activator system of your brain is the part of your brain that notices things that you choose to notice. So the moment you see a blue BMW, and you say, man, I love blue BMWs, you're going to start to see them everywhere because your reticular activator is activated. It's now aware of something. Your reticular activator will get activated. You're going to find great people only when you're clear. But until you make the decision, now here's the difference, not try it out. Here's the second thing, difference, not I hope this works. Here's the third thing, difference, I'm going to do this and see how it goes. You see, all three of those phrases have something in common. They all lack power. No power. A decision is I'm doing this, not until it gets hard. I'm doing this because I'm doing this. So in the mind of Mr. Garvey, that's where he is. I'm doing this. Not I'm hoping this works. I'm doing this. So because he comes into this world with the I'm doing this mentality, his day does not function on the same vibrational level as the person who starts the day with, I hope this works. The I hope this works person will only ever get the leftovers from the person who says, I'm doing this. Think about what I just said. And because Miss Samantha started her day with being open. You see, here's the other part of the conversation. Some people are going to talk to ACN about ACN are not open. It does not matter because so many people are open. Now, I have a choice. I could spend all my day focusing on all the people who are not open, or I could focus my time on meeting people who will be open. He chose to do just that. She chose the opportunity. Why? Because Samantha was already looking. She just didn't know what it was called. So here's my point to you about team building. The people you're looking for are already looking for you. The only question is, do you open your mouth or not? That's the only question. They don't walk around the street and say, hey, I'm looking for a business opportunity. That's not what they do. They have jobs. They have lives. And a lot of times they aren't living the way you think they're living. They have challenges they're just not telling you about. We were all already looking. We just didn't know what it was called. And thank God someone had the courage to open their mouth and talk to all of us, because it changed all of our lives. Let me tell you something. Jails and cages are not open things. They're designed to be closed. Think about it. The very purpose of a cage, the very purpose of a jail is it is built to be closed. That is why they're there. They're fearfully designed to be closed and to trap. When your mouth is closed, you have created a jail. You don't realize it, but you've created a jail. You've imprisoned yourself, and you've also imprisoned the possibility for somebody else. Somebody else now will share the same cage you're in because you won't open your mouth. And so that's my message for you today, is let's just talk to people and share the opportunity. Look, if they see it, wonderful. They don't see it, wonderful. What do you care if someone doesn't see it? It does not matter, because for every person who doesn't see it, there's a Samantha who saw it. For every person who's comfortable, there's a Samantha who says, I'm not comfortable, I want more. For every person who says this will never work, there's a Samantha that says, watch me work it. So you have choices in life. What you focus in on is your choice. If you choose to focus in on, well, what will they say? Then you're missing the blessing of they may say yes. If you choose to focus in on, I'm new, I don't know what to say, then you're missing the blessing of, if I go to an event, like she said, she went to an event, and if I get my training, then I'll better learn what to say. But either way, I'm just going to talk to people. If you don't realize that when you make a decision, forces will align themselves to you. Doors will open for you when you make a decision. And the greatest challenge we have as human beings is we become too smart to have faith. We think we got this whole thing figured out. That's why you have people that live these lives of quiet desperation today, because they're using intellect when we're really spirit beings. They refuse to trust in the invisible. They only want to rely on what they can see that they can do. And when you do not trust in possibility, when you only trust in things that you can handle with your five senses, when you limit yourself to a five-sense world, you miss the divinity and the power that's possible when you allow yourself to be blessed. You see, the greatest thing you don't see. You don't see oxygen, yet you enjoy the power of breath. You don't see love, yet you feel it. Right? So I want you to think about this. Instead of you trying to be the only one that allows for you to be blessed, how about this? How about you trust the process? How about you, listening in on this call right now, how about you trust the process? How about you say, I'm going to do the possible, and I'm going to believe for the impossible, because that story was impossible. But Mr. Garvey trusted the possible. What are you going to do that's going to release your faith? And I'm going to have this conversation land We're landing this plane right now. As long as you think it's impossible, you won't do the work. But when you think it is possible, you will do the work, and then you manifest what was always possible. See, everyone, financial independence is actually possible. By the end of this year, it's actually possible. Next 24 months, it's actually possible. You can actually go from where you are to a totally different life in 12 months. People do it all the time. You see, don't live in the sewer of what people think is impossible. Live in the possibility of what is possible. What is your impossible to possible moment? What are you going for? What are you going for? What is it that you're going for?